Welcome back to a brand new episode of No Fun Fun Facts. It's your boy, College Dropout, aka Not Your Baby Daddy, aka Is It Worth It? Let Me Work It. Are you ready to have no fun? I'm already not, so you can join me.
I got some facts. Ain't all of them gonna be fun, but I promise we will learn long before we're all done.
Sometimes the most extreme part of sports are the athletes, the fans, sometimes the stadium. In today's episode, we will discuss some of the most extreme things that have happened in non-extreme sports. Ready to have no fun? Number 1, have you heard about the Ice Bowl? Your granddad might have told you about this one. In 1967, the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys faced off in the NFL championship game at Lambeau Field in Green Bay, Wisconsin. This game is known universally as the NFL's Ice Bowl. There's other ice bowls for NCAA and a few other things like that, but if you look up NFL Ice Bowl, you can find a bunch of stuff about it. At game time, it was a balmy 13 degrees Fahrenheit. Wait, no, that's wrong. Oh, it was I was trying to kill you, negative 13 below zero. Yeah, that's good. And the wind chill, it felt like negative 48 degrees? Like, I like sports. Football's great, but negative 48 degrees. You're supposed to call it or stay home. What the f***? To be fair, the warmest it's ever been during a playoff game in Green Bay is 35 degrees, and that was in 2021 when they played the Rams at home. Regardless of the death chill inside the stadium, over 50,000 parka-wearing, ski-mask sporting American football fanatics crammed into that sold-out symbol of American loyalty, or maybe stupidity, on New Year's Eve 1967. I think God was trying to warn folks that it might not be worth it. You know, negative 48 degrees wind chill, just saying. Packers defensive back Willie Wood tried to start his car so that he could head to the field, and his battery was dead. He told a service station worker, "It's just too cold to play. They're going to call the game off." He definitely wasn't the only one to have a hard time that day. Referees found that their whistles were useless, and in at least one case dangerous. When Norm Shatcher blew his whistle near the start of the game, it froze to his lips, and when he removed it, it ripped a chunk of his lip skin off. Shatcher was covered in blood from his chin to the belt by the end of his game. After this game, the National Football League adopted plastic whistles for all of its officials. The best part of the whole saga is that the field already had an $80,000 heating system that broke, or was more likely sabotaged by the man himself, Vince Lombardi. The worst part of the saga? An elderly fan did die from exposure, and many fans and players were treated for frostbite and hypothermia. If you know anything about cold injuries, you know that many of these people were plagued by pain and issues for the rest of their lives. Is it worth it? Let me work it. Well, I think we can all agree that was a no fun way to end that. Number 2, what was one of the ugliest but most interesting no-hitters in Major League Baseball history? If you don't know about this one, then you need new grandparents. Doc Ellis was a Major League starting pitcher who pitched for the Pittsburgh Pirates for most of his career. It was June 11th, 1970. Ellis decided he would go visit a friend in Los Angeles. Ellis stayed up until the morning hours, drinking, partying, and having a wonderful 1970s Los Angeles evening. I guess morning now. That's the whole point. He stayed up until the morning. He got some sleep. About noon, he took some lysergic acid dithylamide, or, like your woke friends might be microdosing, acid. He was probably really enjoying himself about 2 hours later. At least that's what my friends say. At that point, he was informed that he was in fact scheduled to start on the mound for the Pirates that day. If you know anything about psychedelics, especially acid, you know that doing anything like getting from point A to point B, or any point and even back to point A, is really an achievement. It'd be a life-changing walkabout type of journey that almost never ends in a logical, educated fashion. So when I say it is no small feat that he was able to get on a plane in an hour and arrive without incident at the ballpark 90 minutes before the first pitch, just know that I'm not being dramatic. He claimed he was unable to always field a ball or clearly make out the catcher. Ellis is quoted as saying, "I started having a crazy idea in the 4th inning that Richard Nixon was the home plate umpire, and once I thought I was pitching a baseball to Jimi Hendrix, who to me was holding a guitar and swinging it over the plate." Talk about a trip. So Doc Ellis took the mound for the Pittsburgh Pirates, having dropped enough acid to think Nixon and Hendrix were in the same stadium. He walked 8 batters and hit one, but he did not give up a hit or run, marking the most interesting complete game no-hitter in Major League history. It was the first and last no-no of Ellis' storied career. It is worth noting that this entire story was made famous by Ellis some 14 years after the fact. Naturally, a few sports reporters have cast their doubts. The Major League Baseball has never released the full footage of the game. You can find parts to view online. I wouldn't really be surprised if you had a little fun with that last one. I hope you're ready to end on a no fun note. Number 3. Why didn't the best team in baseball win it all in 1919? Desperation breeds some really unfortunate and uncomfortable situations. In 2022, we have college athletes finally eligible to be paid for their likeness and athletic prowess. Back at the turn of the 20th century, that was rarely the case. Some folks have heard of the Black Sox scandal that rocked the sporting world all the way back in 1919. For those that don't know or would like the reminder, the scandal was centered around 8 of the members of the 1919 Chicago White Sox World Series team that took on the Cincinnati Red Sox of the National League. The players, and I apologize for the pronunciations ahead of time, the players were pitchers Eddie Cicotti, Lefty Williams, first baseman Chick Gadill, shortstop Swade Risberg, third baseman Buck Weaver. You had the outfielders Shoeless Joe Jackson and Happy Flesh with utility infielder Fred McMullen, of course, to round out the list. The Black Sox, as they were nicknamed, did not receive that moniker because of the scandal, but because the Chicago White Sox owner was a cheap bastard. Charles Comiskey, yes, that Charles Comiskey, the one the stadium was named after, was the owner of the Chicago White Sox from 1900 until his death in 1931. Instead of being a cool guy, he was like most rich dudes from that era, and most today. He was super greedy. Or was he? I'm sure there are already people in the comments writing how the Black Sox were underpaid, or one of my favorites, how Comiskey would not pay for the players' jerseys to be cleaned, so out of protest and some out of money, would wear dirty jerseys day after day. According to Bill Lamb's book, Black Sox in the Courtroom, the true beginning of the dirty laundry legend was started by the defense lawyers, a tactic to try and discredit Comiskey and gain sympathy for the players. The reality of the situation is that 4 of the Chicago players were ranked in the top 20 highest players in the American League. The true greedy swindlers in this case were absolutely the players. Number 8 highest paid player in the league with $8,000 for his salary in 1919, Eddie Cicotti. That's $130,372.25 in 2022 money. Number 11 highest player in the league at $7,250 for his yearly salary, Buck Weaver. That's 2020's equivalent of $118,149.86. They're doing just fine. Number 15 with $6,000 salary in 1919, remember, Shoeless Joe Jackson. We're talking $97,779.19. Shoeless Joe didn't wear shoes because he didn't want to, not because he couldn't afford them. Yeah, but Doc, what about the other players? They were underpaid, right? No, I'm sorry, but they weren't. At the time, the White Sox had the 3rd highest payroll in the American League, with only the Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees with higher than their $88,461,000. 2022 money, that's $1,441,607.50. Of course, not all of this goes directly to the players, but they were paid. They knew what they were doing. They were greedy. This wasn't because they needed medicine or food for their families. The court records argue that those 8 players received $70,000 to $100,000 to throw the World Series and lose 5 games to 3. The White Sox had a record of 88 wins to 52 losses for the year, which won them the pennant. There were no playoffs back then. If you don't know, the top team in the 8-team leagues went to the World Series. I'm sure we're going to talk a lot more about baseball, not only because it's something that I love and I'm passionate about, I don't know if that was clear, but there's a lot of no fun facts. Not just things like that, but yeah, kind of mostly things like that. They had scored 667 runs over their opponents' 534 on the season. They were way better than their competition, and they were very, very talented. Naturally, suspicions immediately arose after the World Series, but as these things do, they're quickly forgotten. At least, that's what those involved hoped. Now, in September of 1920, a grand jury was formed to investigate various claims of them dirty gamblers infiltrating America's pastime. On the 28th of September 1920, which, after Sakati, Williams, Jackson, and Flesh had admitted to throwing the series for a bribe, Charles Comiskey suspended the remaining 7 players. Goodale had already been suspended due to an ongoing salary dispute. These 8 men out, as the John Cusack and Charlie Sheen 1988 feature film would make famous, were indicted and stood trial in the summer of 1921. On August 2nd, 1921, all 8 players were acquitted due to insufficient evidence. Key evidence, like the original confessions, had disappeared and was most likely stolen. Even though the quickest form of communication in those days was the telegraph, it only took 1 day for the new baseball commissioner, Judge Kennesaw Mountain Landis, a man with a great name who was absolutely a bastard, and I'm sure could earn his own video on No Fun Fun Facts, but we'll do our best to just make him a footnote. But yes, the Black Sox received the moniker for their sins. They did not take bribes because they were underpaid, they were greedy, and probably cocky. Huh. That was different. Okay. To finish out, the national average income for 1919 was approximately $704.60. That is only $11,489.05 in 2022 dollars. Like today, these players were making 10 times the national average. They still wanted even more. And they wanted that at the expense of their integrity, their career, and their sport. There's a term for such individuals: greedy bastards. I really hope you had no fun today. Share these facts with your friends, your family. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon so you know where you can get your No Fun Fun Facts first. If there's anything you want to see from us, go ahead and leave it in the comments. We'll take a look there and make future videos from those suggestions. If there's something about the format that you love, something that you hate, let me know. I want to improve, and I'm here to make sure that we can be the best we can be. Thank you, and keep having no fun.
But I promise we will learn long before we're all done. There's a lot to thank for where I find me. Mothers, teachers, shock jocks, and even a few dweebs. All I really need to know is...
Welcome back, brud. What's bracking, brud? Sorry. Also, Crips don't. Bloods, Crip. I'm a friend. I'm an ally. Can you be a gang ally? Is that probably not advisable? There's a pun right there. I'm missing it. Some of these might be a little fun, but most of them are no fun. That's kind of the goal. Anyway. You ready to have no... I'm not doing that. Welcome back to a brand new episode of No Fun Fun Facts. It's your boy, college dropout, a.k.a. not your baby daddy, a.k.a. is it worth it? Let me work it. Please don't sue me on that one, Missy Elliott. I thought it'd be appropriate and funny right there. You ready to have no fun? I am. Let's go. I am. Here we go. Do it. In the NFL championship game at Lambeau Field. Lambeau Field. That was a good one. He might have been there. If he's from like Green Bay and he talks about really cold football games like it was Vietnam, he was probably there. To be fair, the warmest it's ever been during a playoff game in Green Bay is 35 degrees, and that was in 2021. Global warming. Crammed into that sold out. So good. Red Bull burps during YouTube video. Dankeschön. I mean, I like football, but I like my hands too.
No fun for anyone.
Welcome back to a brand new episode of No Fun Fun Facts. I wasn't even done sitting down. I don't know what I'm doing. And a little while after he awoke on the 12th of June, highlight. Light decided to be lower and closer to us. It actually looks good. We're going to leave that there. Wow. And for all the no fun fact kids out there, just keep doing your thing, baby. Chicken wang. Sorry.